Hi, I'm Skinny Disco from DEATHSTARS and you're watching Metalshop TV. Well, it depends, you know, we've been through different phases with this band, and before we released the last album, we had quite a tough time personally, because the last album before that we had so much troubles touring, where things got cancelled, we lost a lot of money, a bus exploded in Austria, we had, you know, so many things that went wrong for us. So when we got back home, we were personally bankrupt, the band was bankrupt, everything. We just needed to collect ourselves and find inspiration. So that took some time before we started writing. But yes, you're right, the band is not the fastest when it comes to writing music, because also our kind of music, I think it takes quite some time to perfect. There's a lot of things going on, even though it's straight up pop songs to start with. But with the arrangements, there's so much details if you put your mind to it. And so yeah, I would say in a dream world, it should take about 3-4 years to write an album. But yeah, this time it took close to 9, I think. Oh yeah, it has multiple layers, I think. On a personal level, I think it's this band. It's not very easy. It's not very easygoing. This a constant struggle within us, with us against everything we're working with. But that has always been, I think, the way that drives us. You know, if it's too easy, it's no fun. So, but then of course you have the world climate, where you see everything from social media that destroys you. You have wars going on. You have everything. So I think it can be applied on probably anything. Yeah, anything will destroy you eventually. Yes and no. We have been looking into it, but it comes in phases, as I say, and yeah, we'll see. I've learned from experience that it's not wise to promise much. Yeah, we'll see. No, actually, from the start, you know, the band started from bands like Swordmaster, Dissection, which was much more brutal music, more like death, thrash metal background, and this DEATHSTARS was more like an experiment to see what can we do with a complete different canvas, and start writing with synthesizers instead of guitars. And so initially there was no influences actually at all, I would say. Of course you've heard bands like Fields of the Nephilim or Sisters of Mercy or stuff like that, but I think it had very little impact on the experiment to start with. But then again, you know, I can tell today that I see similarities. But this band, like the main two songwriters, they have always been more influenced by bands like Kiss or Mötley Crüe or like that, and you can't really tell from them. Of course there's a rock and roll attitude, but that's more live, I think. So yeah, we take a little bit from everything, I think, like anyone. Yeah, of course I've heard it, and I think it's appropriate. I really respect Rammstein. We toured with them, so they're amazing. And Rammstein had their influences from bands like Laibach and, you know, the Krups and, you know, bands like that. So I think it's fair. You know, people need to compare with something to relate to it. I think it's normal, but I think less and less we get the people that reference us to other bands because we've been going for so long. So now they think, oh, DEATHSTARS, we have our own sound. Yeah, it was a great tour for us with Korn as well, of course, but I don't think that package, that American sound didn't suit us that much. I don't think we gained that much new audience from that, but touring with Rammstein was, of course, the biggest, the absolute biggest and best experience I've ever been through, because they took so good care of us. They take so good care of their crew and everyone around them, and yeah, we really felt so welcome, and we're still, you know, in contact, and you know, whenever they're in town, yeah, it's amazing. I went to see them in Copenhagen this summer, and yeah, it's always good to see the good old family. Yeah, well, as a human being, you tend to forget about the bad stuff, so you get back on it. So, but no, I really love touring. Of course, you know, when everything is going against you, when things don't go your way, or you're losing money, then of course you don't feel like it. But the part when you get to play for audiences, you know, I could do that forever, every night, every day. It's the best thing there is. Not just because of the ego boost, but just the joy that you get from people and meet people. That's great. It's a luxury to have this job every now and then. So. Yeah, I would say it's Termination Bliss and the last album. Definitely. I think they're both, yeah, when you think of it, and it's like, oh yeah, but the first album was, so it's, yeah, but I would still say Termination Bliss and Everything Destroys You. Oh yeah, I was so nervous. My dad put me up to it. I was playing this small restaurant in the city where he lives, and because we knew this blues musician, and he said like, yeah, Skinny plays guitar, so could we put him on stage and play maybe a Jimi Hendrix song? And he forced me up on stage, and I got to play 2 songs, and then they started playing a third song that I didn't know, and I got so nervous, my knees were shaking, and that was horrible, but yeah. Here I am, I'm still doing it. Yeah, well, I have most of them are, you know, memories from touring. But I have some pretty clever ones. I have this Lucky Luke tattoo, where you have Lucky Luke here, and you have the shadow, where he shoots faster than his own shadow. I think it's pretty clever, but that's more like, you know, it's about my childhood. It's memories, and you know, Lucky Luke and Asterix and Obelix were great comics when I was a kid. We had so many times, but all the times when Whiplash, or our singer, has fallen off stage is you know, they will always stick in my mind. Last time was in Brazil. We were playing this horror convention, and he comes out in the first song, and like, yeah, in the intro, and steps on the monitor, and falls down, and his legs goes up there and down. I thought that was pretty good, but there's so many memories. Yeah, but that was one of them. Yeah, I've been thinking that it would have been great to try acting, but you know, it's not far from what we're doing, so I guess that's why. But yeah, I do work as sound engineer, you know, but it would be great to do something completely different. One time I thought maybe I should get a real job, like a carpenter or a plumber or a trash man or something, like just, you know, this is a fake world, but still it makes people happy, so I think then it's not that fake anymore, maybe.